Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Empowerment with Elizabeth. Today I am here with my sweet new friend Megan, and she is going to talk to us about being a state title holder and preparing for Miss Volunteer America. So, Megan, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hello, my name is Megan Campbell Smith. I currently serve as Miss Arizona Volunteer, and I'm preparing to compete at Miss Volunteer America this upcoming June in Jackson, Tennessee. A little bit about me personally, I'm a senior at Grand Canyon University, where I've been for the past 4 years studying organizational communication, and I have an emphasis in broadcasting and new media with a minor in professional writing. So kind of a mouthful, but essentially it's a public relations degree, which I'm hoping to continue a career in public relations as well as open up in grad school.
I love it. I love it. So, talk to us about how you got started in pageantry to begin with.
Yes, so my journey was a little bit later than most pageant girls. I feel like a lot of women start at this when they're children. I actually didn't start until I was in high school. So my sophomore year, I ended up going through a very tragic event where I just felt like I needed to give back to my community and repay the kindness that was given to me, which we'll talk about later when we get into my talent. It'll make a little bit more sense. But because of that, I was just looking for ways to have an outlet to just really serve and give back to my community and have some sort of platform or some sort of just title in order to do that. In my sophomore year, my drama director, as I was involved in musical theater and everything, was the one who pulled me in, and she said, "I have a friend who's running a competition, and I really think you should compete. I think you're perfectly like what they're looking for." And I had never even thought about entering the pageant world. It was so not my forte. I grew up on a farm, so I was a little bit out of my comfort zone there. But I went to an info meeting and I fell in love, and I've been competing ever since.
And here you are. I love that.
Yeah.
So talk to us about your talent. You mentioned that that was a big part of your story. So talk to us about, the background behind your talent and how you go about selecting a piece for, state and then now nationals.
Yes. So my talent is actually a monologue. I have been in musical theater, as I mentioned, pretty much my whole life. So this is something I'm very excited to showcase on the Miss Volunteer America stage. But mine is actually an original monologue that I have personally written. I went through, as I mentioned, some sort of traumatic event. My house ended up burning down in a wildfire in 2017. So I lost everything within 10 minutes. I watched everything I had ever known, my safe place, just all of the memories and things like that literally just melt in front of my eyes. And that was something that really changed the course of my life. And I feel like was kind of the launch pad for me to be able to give back to my community. As I mentioned, I was looking for ways to serve and become an outlet. And that's where I ended up falling in love with pageantry and competing. And just so many incredible things were changed because of that moment. So my monologue is really about an empowering story, not really a tragic story, but just kind of going from adversity and tragedy and building up. And I kind of call myself a phoenix rising from the ashes in that situation. So I'm very excited to share a little bit about my life.
I love that. I love that. And you kind of mentioned it earlier when you were talking about, giving back to your community. So talk to us about what your platform is or Serve initiative, and
Yes.
what you've been doing with it and what your future plans are for it.
Yes, my serve initiative is called Give the Gift of Life, supporting Donate Life America. So it's surrounding around organ and tissue donations. It kind of all started when I was 10 years old. I was diagnosed with Shiga E. coli, which is a very severe bacterial disease, which ended up placing me in the pediatric ICU for about 2 weeks. So I was there. They were really struggling to kind of see my recovery for a while. It was just declining and declining. But because I was there for so long, I was able to meet with some of the children that were next to me and just kind of like become friends, right? Like none of us wanted to be there. We might as well make the best of our situation. And I was surrounded by children that had terminal illnesses and cancer, but the majority of them were actually waiting on an organ or tissue donation that would have saved their life.
Mm.
Because of that, I took that, and the moment I stepped out and was able to recover and was grateful and thankful and blessed enough to actually step out of that fully recovered and fully healed. And now I'm able to live a positive life. I want to make sure that I'm advocating for those children and really being able to give back to those that are in need. So I've been working specifically with Donate Life Arizona as I've been in college. I'm actually looking forward to going to the Capitol with them next week to talk to some legislatures and meet some of the incredible donors and partners with them. So I'm really excited to speak there as an advocate. But I've just been able to do some tablings. I'm actually working on launching a national campaign with Donate Life America that I have personally crafted and created that's geared towards getting collegiate students involved and registered to donate.
I love that. I love that. You're doing awesome stuff. That's great.
Thank you.
Okay, so Miss Volunteer America is coming up. The teen
Yes.
competition is like what, this weekend? Next
Yeah.
weekend?
Yeah, I'm
Crazy.
flying out on Thursday.
That's insane.
Right.
But y'all's is coming up too. So talk to us about what you've been doing to prep. What have you been focusing on?
Oh goodness, I am prepping like crazy. It's a little bit difficult because I am still a full-time student and a part-time worker, so this has kind of become an addition. So I'm running around pretty much every day, but I'm trying to fit in as much as I can. The biggest thing I feel like I've implemented is working on my fitness and wellness competition. I've started taking Pilates classes every day, which has been really great. That I'm meeting with a few different coaches and mentors of mine that I've been lucky enough to be able to connect with and really focus on, and meeting with other former Miss Americas, former Miss State title holders, even women that are involved currently in other competitions and other circuits, just making sure that I have sort of a community and that I'm getting all the resources that I can. But I'm
Love it.
looking forward to it.
I love it. I love it. Okay, final question. If you could give one piece of advice to a first year title holder, what would it be?
Ooh, this is going to sound like such a broken record, but I'll explain in a minute. I really do think just being yourself and sticking to what you truly love and going with your gut is going to be the key for your success. I think it's so easy, especially as someone who's just entering the pageant world and competing for the first time, to try and fit yourself into a mold of what you think the judges are looking for in that specific competition or that specific role, or what you think you should be advocating for rather than what you're actually passionate about. And I think just really focusing on your passions would shine so much brighter than any sort of mold that you try and fit yourself in. And I've seen it personally. My own successes have been definitely because I just stayed in my own lane. I focused on myself and just bettering myself and not trying to be the girl next to me. Because at the end of the day, the judges might not be looking for them. They're looking for you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Megan, for coming on and chatting with us about you, your background, your platform, all the great things you've been doing as a title holder.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, of course. And I will see the rest of you guys on our next episode. Bye, y'all.